Alright, what's going on, everybody? So, last week was the release for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. And last week, in the comment section of other videos pertaining to Pirate Warriors 4, and really not just last week, I want to say week before that, I've been arguing with a bunch of Pirate Warrior fanboys. And to make a long story short, a lot of these people can't defend their game. They got angry that I was telling people to basically not buy the game. The game is hot garbage. It is trash. And they got mad over my opinion. And what's so funny is that at least 4 of those people tried to berate me. They tried to act like they were superior to me by insinuating that I am a kid and I have bad taste in games, which I proved to be false in both accounts. Now here's the thing. I am very passionate about One Piece and about anime games in general, about those games being better. I've done videos pertaining to, not buying mediocre games, not supporting mediocre games. Last year with the release of Crackdown and Jump Force, just in general, not just pertaining to not buying mediocre anime games, but just mediocre games, period. I did a video basically telling people, hey, it's okay for you to like the game. I mean, I can't tell you what you should or should not like or whatever. It's okay to like a mediocre game, but you gotta be able to acknowledge. Basically, you gotta be able to acknowledge the flaws. And that's the thing. A lot of those Pirate Warrior fans, they couldn't, like I said, they couldn't defend their game. They couldn't acknowledge the flaws. And what's funny is that, because I always tell people, because I've always been telling people on this channel, don't support X game because, the game is bad, right? And, people on the internet, they don't like it when you tell them what to do with their money. But I'm sorry. I want better games. I want better, especially when it comes to anime games, because people don't understand this, and I covered this in another video. I'll probably leave the links in the description for the 2 videos that I'm referring to. But there's another video that I did a few months ago, I believe, and I believe it was called The Dark Age of Anime Games, something like that, where in that video I basically discussed the decline, basically kind of like the decline of anime games. And basically how there is this stigma around anime games, which people don't understand. Regardless of what genre it is, there is a stigma behind it. And traditionally, there's always been a stigma around licensed games, because before we got stuff like, and I don't like the South Park games or anything like that, but before we got games like South Park, Stick of Truth, before we got games like Batman, Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum, you gotta understand that there's always been a stigma around licensed games, because licensed games, traditionally, a lot of them have been crap. A lot of them have just been cash grabs, and that's what I feel. That's how I feel. A lot of the Pirate Warrior, Muso reskins. That's all they are. That's what a lot of games can be. If the developer does not give a crap about them, if the game was just put out to make money on that license. That is one reason why, and I believe his name is Grindy, the creator of Samurai Jack, and I apologize if I'm getting the name wrong, but that's why the Samurai Jack guy, he made a point to say, when he was talking about the new Samurai Jack game that was coming out, he was like, listen, we were only going to do this because we're not trying to, make a cash grab. And while I'm still skeptical on that game because of the developer, and then that's another thing that we got to talk about, that I'm probably going to end up talking about in this video, because a lot of the problem kind of lies with the developer. If you don't know who the developer is for a lot of these games, like, the developer is key. The publisher can also play a big part in whether a game is going to be good or not, because the publisher can kind of they can kind of control what is not gonna be in the game and stuff. They can kind of direct the developers and stuff. They can say, oh, I want this or that in the game. I want microtransactions, DLC, whatever, But there's a reason why I'm doing this video though, because I have to. Originally last week I did record a video for this, but it was way too long. It was a 40-minute rant, and I wanted to do something a bit more constructive. So for this, I have to point out the flaws, man. I gotta talk about this game because my thing is I want a good One Piece game, and in my opinion, we haven't had a good One Piece game since Unlimited World Raid, and that was like 6-7 years ago. All Dynasty Warrior games can be summed up in 4 words: repetitive, tedious, shallow, and mindless. Tell me I'm wrong. Pirate Warriors 4 suffers from the same issues that has plagued all of the Dynasty Warrior games for years. Pirate Warriors is yet another reskin using the same formula that's been regurgitated for years. Take the One Piece name off the game, and all you have is another run-of-the-mill Muso game. Matter of fact, let's say you take the One Piece license off the game. And this is a good question, would any of y'all care about it? Would any of y'all care about it? The problem lies at the core of the series' signature gameplay, and of course the laziness of the developers, which is a mega force, by the way. And Koei Tecmo is the publisher, and I am always a little skeptical when it comes to Koei Tecmo. Even that Fairy Tail game that I'm looking forward to, I'm just like, I've seen some of it and it's like really rough around the edges. I'm going to buy the game unless it's completely terrible. But I'm always skeptical when it comes to those developers, when it comes to Koei Tecmo, the publisher, and then Omega Force, right? And here's the thing, what I said originally in my 40-minute rant, I'm gonna say again. It's like building a house on bad foundation. If you don't have a good foundation for that house, what's gonna happen? And that's basically the analogy I can kind of give for these Muso games in general, because 9 times out of 10, it's all the same, with a few exceptions. Like, I guess you can say Attack on Titan, even though and that's the thing I can kind of give that game, just based off of what I've seen. They switched it up, with the combat, the way that you have to take down the Titans, and then the movement in that game. Those 2 elements mixes things up. I can at least give credit to that game, and I did give credit to that game in my anime tier list, right? In my anime game tier list video. But One Piece Pirate Warriors is just like any other. It's just like any other game, man. It's just like any other Muso game. Just like Fire Emblem Warriors, Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Zelda joint, just like any of the other ones they made. And here's the thing, when I was arguing with these people, because they always make it seem like they always try to think, they always try to say that, they're under some weird assumption that if you trash these games, you never played one before. Here's the thing, I played the original games, because I believe the originals were on PS2, right? I remember playing those for the first time and being blown away as a kid, because it was just all these enemies on screen. I'm like, oh my god, look at all of this, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have, I remember playing the demo. I think the only game that I've actually legit bought, and actually someone bought it for me, was Gundam. But I have played a lot of them. I played the demo for that like Fist of the North Star one that came out on the PS3. Not the good one, or at least the one that everybody says is good. The one that's on PS3. But the one that I bought, and I still regret to this day, I still regret wasting my brother-in-law's money, because he's the one that bought the game for me. It was Gundam. It was the Gundam one. It was the third one. I was very disappointed, and I was skeptical on buying it, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it, because it was like we had a buy one get one free sale at Well, it wasn't buy one get one free. It was buy two get one free at GameStop, right? And like I'm bringing all this up because people act like I don't have any credibility when it comes to this series, and I don't know what I'm talking about. When I played the games, I played these games. I've looked at the gameplay, and that's another thing that I brought out. I mean, excuse me, I'm using the wrong word there. That's another thing that I've said before in another video. I've talked about the fact that, hey, if you've been gaming for a long time, you can just look at a game and tell that it's bad, right? And in the one particular video that I'm thinking about, I use Life of Black Tiger as an example. And if you never heard of that game, go search it. You can tell that game was a bad game. And if you're a gamer and you've been playing games for a long time, you can tell games. You can tell a bad game when you see one. And every time I see a Pirate Warriors gameplay, I just like my brain. I click off the video within a few minutes of just seeing people watch it because it's so boring. It's so boring. And even playing the games, like I feel like a lot of the games have the same problems, and it lies at the core. It lies at the core. Like I said, when you build your house on bad foundation, I mean, what's going to happen? And here's the thing. The developers, they reused a lot of these same assets from Pirate Warriors 3. That shows you the level of laziness of the developers. And, obviously there are some people, there are people disappointed because I guess they didn't include certain arcs. They didn't include certain arcs. I'm not sure about certain characters, but I know they didn't include certain arcs. But just as you would expect from one of these Muso-style games, you fight a bunch of brain-dead AI that just stand around waiting for you to hit them. They pose no threat. These games have horrible, tedious mission design and boss battles. The objective, the moment-to-moment gameplay, it's just tedious. It's just tedious, just like every single game. I watched 2 reviews on this game, right? I watched the IGN review, which I greatly disagree with, and then I watched Globecu's review. And watching those reviews, especially when I watched Globecu's, everything he was saying, like the negatives surrounding this game, I was like, yo, this is giving me flashbacks right now. Like, I remember, everything he was saying, I'm like, okay, yeah, this series, these type of games, they haven't evolved. And I would be a little less, I guess you could say I would be a little less negative, or a little less, or a little more lenient if the series had evolved, if it looked like it was evolving and doing more, but it's not. It's not. From the 2 reviews that I've watched, the game still, it's suffering from the same issues. It still has the bad, horrible camera, which is another common problem for the series. The combat in these games, they are super simplistic and they lack depth. It's just a simple button masher. I don't want to hear nothing about these games having depth because they don't. And then the presentation, the graphics. These are some early PS3 level graphics, and I know some people are gonna try to defend it by saying, okay, they got all these characters, all these enemies on screen at once, and all these, the environment and all that stuff, all these assets, so that's why they can't really make the graphics look good. And I kind of understand that, but at the same time, man, we about to go into the PlayStation 5 generation. And watch if they do, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make another one of these, unfortunately. But if they do make another one, it's probably going to look just as bad and just as dated. I mean, the only thing you could say good about this game, and I don't know if you can even call it good, it's just the fact that it has a bunch of content, but a lot of it has, from what I can understand, a lot of it is recycled, which is kind of how, it's kind of how, from what I remember, that's kind of how the Gundam game was. And, because here's the thing, I've said it before, but it's like I am very passionate when it comes to getting good anime games. I don't want this crap. It's not necessarily that is just me, wanting to bag on the game. If the game was good, I'd have no problems. But it's not a good game. Like I said before, we haven't had a good One Piece game in a minute. We haven't had a good One Piece game since Unlimited World Red. And the funniest thing is that people, when I was arguing with certain people, because here's the thing. I've said this before in this video, but it's like the people couldn't. Most of them, the large majority of them, couldn't defend their game. Matter of fact, nobody did. No, I don't think anyone really defended this game. I mean, what I mean to say is that they couldn't defend it. Like they couldn't. I list the problems with the series. That's the funny thing, is that I list all those problems and they couldn't defend it. They couldn't say, oh no, you're wrong because of X, Y, and Z. And then what's funny is that one or maybe two people, I don't know how many people it was, they went to my channel, right? And then they saw that I'm playing One's Justice. And I'll probably have One's Justice gameplay in the background just because I don't have no One Piece gameplay because there hasn't been a good One Piece game in a minute, so I haven't bought one, right? But there was one or two people that went to my channel and they saw that I was playing One's Justice and they got mad and they hit the dislike button on at least 10 videos in a row. So like if you look at some of my videos, some of my One Justice videos, and you see a dislike, it's probably from angry Pirate Warrior fans, right? It's probably from those one or two people. And if it was one person that did that, like, do you know how much time you had to spend, right, to keep going down somebody's video and hitting the dislike button? Like, the fact that you spent time doing that says something about you. And then that person, and it might have been another person too, but I believe it was like a couple of them at least. There was one person that said, oh, your opinion is canceled. You like One's Justice. That game is trash, man. But here's the thing. I can talk about, I can tell you what's bad about One's Justice. I can tell you what's bad about Dynasty Warriors. And I brought up all the problems, even in this video, and even in the comment section of those various videos that I was on, right? Because here's the thing. I could tell you about One's Justice problems, right? But they couldn't tell me. They just said, oh, One Justice is trash. Your opinion doesn't matter. You don't know what you're talking about. This game is great. It's not for you. And that's another thing that I hate when people say, oh, it's not for you. I mean, yeah, not every game is for everybody. But at the same time, like I said before, I want good anime games. I want a good One Piece game. I don't know how hard it is. To for people to understand this. But I guess some people are under the assumption that if you don't support One Piece games, that they're going to stop making them. Here's the thing. One Piece is a powerful brand. One Piece has been around for dang near 20 years, if I remember correctly. This isn't Black Clover we're talking about. Black Clover, that game came out way too early, and I still think it did. The Black Clover Quartet Knights, I believe it was called. And so the fear was, if you actually, if you were a Black Clover fan at the time, if you don't buy that game, then guess what? They're not going to make more Black Clover games. And that's basically what happened to Black Clover because we haven't had another game. But here's the thing. Black Clover is a newer show, and at the time it was really just getting started. So they pulled the game out prematurely, and unfortunately the game wasn't very good. Most people didn't even know it came out on release. But the point is that you don't have to support this game if you want good One Piece games. Because guess what? They're going to keep making good One Piece games. I mean, obviously they haven't made any good One Piece games in a minute. But I'm saying, like, they're going to keep making One Piece games. So don't worry about that. Don't believe anyone that tells you that, oh, you need to support this game, just because, right? No, don't support this trash. Because when you give them your $60, you're telling them, oh, it's okay for you to do more of these reskins and, not put any effort into your game development. That's all you're telling them, that it's okay to do all this. I mean, my God, this game is just as bad as, I would say it's even worse. It might even be worse than World Seeker. It's definitely worse than Burning Blood, and I think Burning Blood was trash. Burning Blood, like really all these games, with the exception of Unlimited World Red, hot garbage. Hot garbage. And then the thing that kills me is that in the comments section, when I was talking to these people, I brought up Grand Battle, and people act like Grand Battle. It probably wasn't the greatest game in the world, but if you look up some videos, yeah, Grand Battle, especially in comparison to what we have today, to what we get on the daily, which is a bunch of arena brawlers, and we get a bunch of arena brawlers and Muso games, right? If they brought out another Grand Battle, it would be a breath of fresh air, and I don't think those games are bad. Grand Battle was even better than these Pirate Warrior games, man. But yeah, man, the only thing I can really say is just, don't support this game, man. I mean, if you like it, well, that's cool, And if you have a problem with me playing One's Justice, we can talk about, and obviously these are two different genres, but we can talk about which game is better. Matter of fact, in the comment section below, if you wanna have that discussion, we can have that discussion, But One's Justice, or at least I can say, is that it has depth to the combat, It definitely has depth to its combat. It has its issues, and I can point those out if y'all want me to. But overall, it's a way better game than Pirate Warriors. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening. I believe this video is gonna be a lot shorter than, hopefully it's a lot shorter than the 40-minute video. I'm probably not gonna edit the audio. I'm just gonna upload this raw, so apologies if it's a bit too long for your taste. But yeah, I've said all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched the entire video, like the video, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'm out of here. Peace.